This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
If you are an NRI living in any part of this world, you must be somebody who will be relating to this conversation very much, because I have with me a few young campaigners and their objective is to get the votes for NRIs, get the rights for NRIs to cast their vote during elections in India. We just had elections in 5 states in India, and I'm sure that was something which many have followed very closely. But more than that, the 2019 general election. There's so much interest. Everybody wants to cast their vote, wants to have their say. How is the campaign going, and do you hope that you will actually be able to cast your vote, Rohit?
So definitely, there is a very strong interest in the NRI community to be able to vote in elections, and we've had a positive response from the Supreme Court, from the Election Commission, from the government now, that the NRI audience should be able to vote. The question is more a matter of when rather than if. So we've been hearing 2024 as the timelines being suggested. We're trying to push it forward, but hopefully all turning out well, we should be able to vote in 2019 elections. And right now we are at the stage of where the registration of voting can happen. So encourage as many people to register for voting.
How do they register? By post, online?
So it is an online process. The Election Commission has released the links, and as part of Pravasi Bharat, we'll be promoting the voting registration campaign as well. So the sooner we have greater number of people registering, the greater momentum this will give to the campaign.
Okay. If you are somebody who wants to register, you have to do this now, because it's open for registrations, and later on, eventually, hopefully, those who have registered will be able to get the right to vote. And where do they look up?
It's on the Election Commission website. So one of the forms, Form 5A, and we'll be promoting it in Pravasi Bharat as well very actively.
Okay, so be engaged with the community as always. Form 5A,
Yeah.
Look through the Election Commission's website. Mansi, tell me, what were you doing in 2014 when general election was happening? Because what I have noticed is that I was, of course, in India. I voted, and I also was reporting it. So it was one of the most fascinating elections, right? 2014 general election. But then, as compared to what the previous general election was, however, what were you doing on that day? Because my question is this. The social media has become this very powerful tool at a time of campaigning, especially for all youth across, and not just youth, but also politicians and people who are campaigning. So were you part of the process in some way? Were you trying to have a say? Were you almost itching to cast your vote?
To be honest, I was itching to cast my vote, and one of the reasons for this was Pravasi Bharat, where my energies we were trying to channelize our energies through Pravasi Bharat, so that in future nobody is itching like me. And the next thing was, of course, for generations like me who are working for IT and stuff, is the social media. So I was actually just interacting with my friends, debating with them. Okay, why BJP? Okay, why not Congress? Or why this? Or why that? Just trying to put my thoughts into them, discussing with them, and yes, keeping my TV on to watch every single second what happens, and not to miss anything. Debating with family, with friends, whatever you can think of.
So you were restless when it was happening.
Very restless, and that's why we are channelizing our energies through this Pravasi Bharat, where we are fighting for having this right for us.
Sure. Very fascinating, isn't it? Indian elections itself is fascinating. I mean, I am a little biased because I'm a political journalist. However, Indian elections is so very unique. And it's never over until it's over, Indian elections, because anything can change till the last minute. Opinion polls can be completely...
One more thing.
Yeah.
It feels a bit frustrated that I can vote in UK, but not in India. So...
Yeah, as a Commonwealth citizen, you could be a citizen of India, but you can vote. For example, during the Brexit vote on the 23rd of June, a lot of Indians who are living here will be able to cast their vote as by virtue of being a member of the Commonwealth country citizen. What was your day like on the day of voting 2014, and which state are you from?
I'm from I was born in Kashmir.
Okay.
from UP, lived in Delhi, studied in Bangalore, so traveled across.
So you're a global Indian, let's put it that way.
Yeah, so
A global Indian, okay.
Yeah,
No,
so-
I was curious because if you belong to any of these states which recently went to polls, then you may be, we may want to talk about that as well.
yeah, so actually, we need to look at, there are a lot of emotion, there is a lot of energy, and as we heard with Dr. Qureshi saying that there could be some different stat which does not build a business case for enabling e-election or enabling outside country to vote, but I think that we need to look at how we can explore and exploit these technology enablement, mobile, social, to be able to enable people who are outside, far from a distance, living far from their country, can vote in a secure manner. Just to give you an example, you can pay by mobile. Why not cast vote through mobile? Why not explore those ways? There are alternatives we can always explore.
Okay. He said it's an emotion, it's something that one cannot describe because it's so very personal. It's not just about casting your vote or holding a passport. What more does it invoke in you when you think of, I want to have a say in who's going to form the next government in India?
As a citizen, I should be able to vote and exercise that right. Just because I am in Britain and not in India does not prevent me from casting my vote, and should not. And there should be a lot of awareness for the NRI voting system.
Yeah.
So we all can, as good citizens, cast the vote and make that vote count.
Sure, very genuine, in fact, request. However, there are many challenges. Like it's almost like saying, let's just get rid of corruption in India. It's a mammoth task indeed for the Election Commission, and rightly so, because there are so many malpractices which take place. You don't want more malpractices than a genuine vote going across, and that's something I'm sure these young campaigners absolutely do not want. Many of the people here in the community also say, first bring in dual citizenship. But that's been a debate because you're making a choice, right? You're making a choice to quit holding the Indian passport and then holding another passport. So where is that? Where is the aspect of dual citizenship coming in your campaign?
Okay, so for me, I think NRI voting is the first step, and then comes the dual voting, because we have to start small. But dual citizenship, to my mind, is, it's my personal view, I would say, it's very important as well, because we are going global. The world is global. People might like to have a citizenship in a different country, which may be their karm bhumi, but they don't want to lose their touch with their motherland.
Okay.
So that's where it comes. A good balance between your karm bhumi and your motherland is something which dual citizenship can bring.
It's again then individual choice whether you want to take that or not. But do we have a system? We need to at least enable people to make a choice.
Correct. So the first step is let's start step by step. So the first is to get NRIs their votes, their rights to cast their vote first. Second, if a decision is made at all by India, and will it be made, we don't know, because the demand is there. There are several people who want to have a dual citizenship. Many have been asking for a dual citizenship, but if that comes to that stage at all, which is again debatable, then we're talking about being able to vote in both countries. But for now, what I can gather, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that this campaign by Pravasi Bharat is to get a lot of people to register first, because it'll be very embarrassing, because the campaign is at one stage picking up momentum, but all of you sitting there who also agree but not actually getting down to register will mean embarrassment for these people who are campaigning in a very big way. So get yourself to register, and once those registrations go up, there'll be more representations made. The Supreme Court has already welcomed such a decision, but how you will actually implement it is something we'll have to wait and see. Whether the story changes in 2019, we don't know, but the promise is that by 2024, NRIs living anywhere in the world, you could be in the UK or the US or Timbuktu, but you will still be able to cast your vote and have a say in who forms the government in India.